Hello, Virgo. Mm, Something is sitting heavy tonight. Not on your shoulders, deeper, in that place you don't show people. And I think you already know why you're here. You don't need me to tell you. Something pulled you, something quiet and persistent, like a hand on your sleeve in the dark, and you followed it. So let's not waste time. Let's go where it actually hurts. There's a room inside you. You know the one. You've walked past it 1,000 times. You've pressed your ear against the door. You've told yourself you'd deal with it later when you were stronger, when things were better, when the timing was right. But the timing never gets right, does it? And the room stays closed, and whatever lives in there keeps knocking. Tonight we're opening the door, not because it's comfortable, because you're tired. And tired people sometimes do the brave thing, not out of courage, but out of sheer exhaustion with the alternative. Let me ask you something. When good things come close to you, real things, solid things, things that could actually change your life, what happens in your body? Not in your mind, in your body. Because for some people, it's not excitement, it's a tightening, a bracing, like the body already knows the punchline before the joke is finished. Like something deep and old and wordless says, wait, don't touch that. Last time you touched something like that, remember what happened. And you pull back, not because you don't want it, but because wanting it feels dangerous, because somewhere along the way, wanting and losing became so tangled together that you stopped being able to tell where one ended and the other began. That is not weakness. That is a wound that learned how to think. I want to talk about cinder. You know what cinder is. What's left after the fire. Gray, still. Warm in the center if you press your hand against it, but from the outside, it looks like it's over. It looks like nothing is left. Some people live in cinder for so long they forget there was ever a fire. They start to become the ash. They redecorate around it. They make peace with the gray. And when something bright comes near an opportunity, a shift, a door that wasn't there yesterday, they don't move toward it. They squint at it. They wait for it to disappear because cinder and flame cannot share the same space, and they've already decided which one they are. But here's what cinder forgets. Fire doesn't ask permission to return. Um, Hold on. I need to say something that might land strangely. The thing keeping you from abundance, from money, from ease, from the life that keeps appearing in the corner of your imagination and then disappearing when you look directly at it. It's not laziness. It's not bad luck. It's not the wrong birth year or the wrong city or the wrong circumstances. It's a guardian. Something inside you that was built carefully, intelligently, out of real material to keep you safe by keeping your expectations low. If you never reach too high, you never fall too far. If you never let yourself want the thing fully, losing it won't hollow you out. If you stay small, you stay protected. That guardian was built from something real, a moment, a person, a silence that lasted too long, a lesson that wasn't spoken but was felt so deeply it became bone. And it served you. Once, in a room you no longer live in, the question is, and I'm not asking you to answer this out loud, just to let it sit, is it still serving you now? There is a particular kind of exhaustion that comes from being your own obstacle. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't come with a label. It feels like bad timing, like the world being unfair, like the door being always slightly out of reach. But sometimes, not always, but sometimes the door is right there, and the hand that's keeping it closed is yours. Not because you're broken, because the part of you holding that door shut has never been told it's safe to let go. I'm not sure why, but this feels important right now. The relationship between money and worthiness runs deeper than most people are willing to go. Because on the surface, it looks like a practical problem: budgets, opportunities, skills, timing. But underneath, in the room we don't open, it's almost never about any of that. It's about whether you believe in the marrow of you that you are someone things are allowed to work out for, not someone who makes things work, someone things work for, someone the universe doesn't resent, someone who can receive without bracing for the punishment that follows. And if you've never felt that, if ease has always come with a price, if good news has always been followed by something that cancels it out, if every time you got close to something real, it slipped, then your body learned a law, a private, wordless law. Good things leave, good things cost, good things were meant for someone else. That law is not the truth. It is an echo, an old sound bouncing off old walls in a room you've outgrown. Let me talk about the broken key. There's a version of you, and maybe you felt this person late at night in the quiet between thoughts, who is completely ready, not almost ready, not ready once they fix this one last thing, ready, who has been carrying something heavy and real and earned for a long time, who has shown up, who has stayed when it would have been easier to leave, who has kept going through versions of themselves that didn't make it, through doors that closed in their face, through seasons that felt like they would never change. That version of you exists. I'm not guessing. I'm not flattering you. If you're here at this hour listening to this, something in you is still looking, still reaching, still refusing to fully give up on the possibility that things could be different. That is not nothing. That is everything. The broken key still turns the lock. Sometimes only the broken key turns that particular lock because it's the only one that fits the exact shape of what you've been through. Wait, I want to slow down here because something else is coming through. There's a particular kind of person who gives beautifully, who is generous, open-handed, who pours into others without thinking twice, and who almost cannot receive, who tenses when the tide turns toward them, who minimizes, who says, "Oh, it's nothing. Don't worry about me," not out of grace, but out of something older and more afraid. The closed fist cannot hold water, but neither can the hand that flinches every time something is placed in it. Receiving is a practice, and for some, it is the hardest practice there is because it requires believing, even for just a moment, that you are worth the gift. Not because you earned it, not because you've suffered enough, simply because you exist, and existing is perhaps enough. The echo, that's what I keep coming back to. So much of what we carry isn't even originally ours. It's sound that bounced off someone else's walls and found a home in our chest. A parent's fear of never having enough. A community's belief that wanting more is shameful. A story told so many times it calcified into certainty. And we walk around with this echo, this inherited secondhand limitation, treating it like it's our own voice, treating it like prophecy, when really it was always just sound is less than #0. 5 is greater than, and sound eventually fades. The question isn't whether the echo is real. It is real. You feel it. It shapes things. The question is it yours? Did you choose it, or did it choose you before you were old enough to know the difference? We're near the end now. And I want to leave you with something that isn't a solution, because I don't believe in handing people solutions to things that are theirs to solve. But maybe a doorway. The energy right now, and I say this not as a promise but as an observation, feels like a threshold, that liminal, uncomfortable in between, where the old story has lost its grip but the new one hasn't fully arrived. That place where you're neither here nor there, where the ground feels uncertain beneath your feet. That feeling, that specific disorienting feeling, is not a sign that something is wrong. It's a sign that something is moving. The labyrinth doesn't feel different when you're close to the exit. It still feels like walls. It still feels like you've been here before. But perhaps you haven't. Perhaps this particular wall at this particular turn is the last one. You cannot know that from inside it, but you can keep walking. Take what resonates tonight, leave what doesn't. Your own discernment is the only compass worth trusting in this. And before you go, 2 questions, not for me, just for the quiet. Where are you still waiting for a permission that only you can give? And what would it feel like just for one day to let something good arrive without immediately looking for what it's going to cost you? Sit with those gently. I'll see you in the next one.